What if I told you that some of the most powerful medicines you could possibly use are growing wild in ditches, abandoned lots, and maybe even your own backyard? Plants that our grandparents knew by heart. Plants that healed soldiers on battlefields and helped people get through centuries without hospitals or pharmacies. Most people do not know this, but while we are all running to the drugstore for every cut, cough, and ache, there are plants out there that have been healing humans for thousands of years. Plants backed by legitimate clinical research proving their benefits. And today, I am going to show you 20 of them that will completely change how you view natural healing. Stick around, because number 17 on this list has been used for more than 2,000 years. Modern science has just verified its effectiveness against antibiotic-resistant bacteria. And number 20 is so potent, it served as the original form of aspirin long before the manufactured pill existed, and it is likely growing in a roadside ditch near you right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we release brand new videos each week that help you cut healthcare costs and take full control over your personal wellness. So let's jump straight in. Here are 20 overlooked medicinal plants capable of supporting your body's healing, ranked from impressive to absolutely extraordinary. Number 1 is Calendula. Let's kick things off with Calendula, also known as pot marigold. This bright orange blossom has one of the most well-documented histories in herbal therapy. Medieval warriors brought calendula flowers into combat specifically to treat battlefield cuts and injuries. They nicknamed it the war flower because when no other resources were available, no surgeons, no antibiotics, and no sterile supplies, calendula could help prevent wounds from becoming infected and support clean, steady recovery. Calendula officinalis grows easily in nearly any garden, producing vibrant orange and yellow blooms from spring until the first frost. These beautiful flowers carry remarkable healing properties. Contemporary clinical trials have validated what medieval fighters already understood. Calendula extracts speed wound recovery, including burns and surgical incisions. Research confirms that it boosts tissue repair and lowers inflammation. Here is how it works. The flowers are packed with triterpenoids and flavonoids, compounds with proven anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial traits. You can craft a simple calendula salve by infusing dried blooms into a carrier oil, creating a remedy that accelerates healing for minor cuts, scrapes, burns, and irritated skin far better than leaving injuries untreated. Calendula faded from mainstream awareness for one simple reason: pharmaceutical companies cannot patent a flower. Still, for anyone seeking safe, reliable wound care without a doctor's prescription, calendula thrives in gardens everywhere. Think of it as a backyard emergency room that has existed all along, simply waiting for people to rediscover it. Number 2 is sea buckthorn, the Himalayan skin restorative. Sea buckthorn might be the ultimate forgotten superfood medicine. This thorny shrub, which bears vivid orange berries, has been used in Tibetan, Russian, and Chinese traditional healing for hundreds of years, primarily to repair skin and sensitive mucous membranes. Modern scientific research has caught up to these ancient practices in a major way. Hipophyte rhamnoides yields berries overflowing with vitamins, antioxidants, and omega fatty acids. Russian cosmonauts relied on sea buckthorn oil in space to shield their bodies from radiation damage. Recent human studies demonstrate that sea buckthorn oil strengthens the skin barrier, accelerates wound healing, and eases dry, inflamed mucous tissue, addressing concerns ranging from dry eyes to internal irritation. What makes it unique? Oil extracted from both the berries and seeds contains rare omega-7 fatty acids that support healthy mucous membranes throughout the entire body. Clinical studies show improvements for dry skin, eczema, atopic dermatitis, dry eye syndrome, and menopausal vaginal dryness. Sea buckthorn vanished from Western medical practice, largely because it naturally grows in harsh, remote regions such as the Himalayas and Siberian highlands. Even so, it can be cultivated in cold climates, and its oil is widely available as a supplement. For anyone struggling with chronically dry, irritated skin or sensitive internal membranes, sea buckthorn delivers results most commercial moisturizers only claim to offer, supporting healing from within. It is like carrying an internal repair system inside a berry that survives where almost nothing else can grow. Number 3 is Comfrey, the bone knitter. Comfrey has one of the most descriptive common names in all of herbal medicine, knitbone. For generations, people applied comfrey roots and leaves externally to fractured bones, sprains, bruises, and torn soft tissue, insisting that it accelerated recovery. As it turns out, they were entirely correct. Symphytum officinale contains allantoin, a compound that encourages cell multiplication, actively speeding tissue regeneration and repair. Multiple modern clinical trials confirm that topical comfrey root extract significantly reduces pain and improves mobility for lower back discomfort, ankle sprains, abrasions, and osteoarthritis. Peer-reviewed published research repeatedly verifies comfrey's effectiveness. A critical safety note: comfrey is only for external application. The plant contains pyrrolizidine alkaloids that can harm the liver if consumed internally. Used as a salve, cream, or poultice over injured skin, however, it remains remarkably safe and effective. You can make homemade comfrey salve by infusing dried root in oil and blending it with beeswax. Comfrey fell out of common use, partly due to warnings around internal consumption, and partly because modern medicine turned toward casts and x-rays for bone injuries. Still, for the everyday soft tissue damage we all face, sprained ankles, strained backs, and bruised muscles, comfrey remains one of nature's fastest-acting healing agents. Imagine it as a plant that signals your body to mend damaged tissue faster than it would naturally. Number 4 is mullein, the lung cleanser. Mullein is that tall plant covered in fuzzy leaves, topped with a spike of yellow blossoms that you have likely spotted growing in vacant lots and alongside roadways. For centuries, it served as the primary remedy for all types of lung congestion, persistent coughs, bronchitis, asthma, and chest colds with thick mucus. Verbascum species were so widely used for respiratory troubles that herbalists named it the lung's best friend. The leaves contain saponins, natural expectorants that help your body expel trapped mucus instead of letting it linger in the chest and develop into infection. Recent research reviews confirm that mullein delivers anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial benefits for the respiratory tract. Here is how people traditionally used it. They brewed tea from dried leaves, carefully straining it through cheesecloth to remove tiny irritating hairs, and drank 2 to 3 servings daily during chest colds. Some individuals smoked dried mullein leaves to ease asthma, though this practice is far less common today. Its flowers were also infused into oil to treat ear infections. Mullein faded from mainstream attention once commercial cough syrups and decongestants hit the market. But many of these manufactured products merely suppress coughing rather than clearing the underlying congestion. Mullein helps your lungs complete their natural job and flush out irritants without the unwanted side effects of pharmaceutical formulas. If you are dealing with a chest full of mucus and a stubborn cough, mullein still grows wild, costs nothing, and works exactly as it has for hundreds of years. It is like having an on-call maintenance crew for your respiratory system, waiting for you to remember its benefits. Number 5 is plantain weed, the trailside first aid kit. This is the plant everyone has walked past countless times without ever noticing. Plantain weed, not the tropical banana fruit, is a low-growing herb with oval leaves and thin flower stalks, thriving in lawns, hiking trails, and disturbed soil nearly everywhere. It ranks among the most reliable first aid plants on the planet. Plantago major was called white man's footprint by indigenous Americans because it seemed to sprout wherever European settlers traveled. Native people quickly learned that this humble weed treated cuts, burns, insect stings, and infections better than most readily available trailside resources. Modern research fully backs up this ancient knowledge. Studies show that plantain offers proven wound healing, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. A clinical trial conducted in Iran found that plantain ointment healed second-degree burns more effectively than standard conventional treatments. Its leaves contain compounds that calm inflammation, slow minor bleeding, and fight infection. The traditional method of use is simple. Take a fresh leaf, chew it lightly to break down the cell walls, or crush it thoroughly, then press it directly onto cuts, stings, or bug bites. Within minutes, pain and swelling begin to subside. You can also brew strong tea from dried leaves to wash wounds or soak irritated skin. Plantain was forgotten largely because it is classified as a weed, abundant and free. Society has been conditioned to believe effective medicine must be rare and expensive, not sprouting from sidewalk cracks. For minor injuries, insect stings, and small burns, Plantain delivers immediate, affordable, powerful relief. Think of it as a portable emergency resource that grows beneath your feet wherever you travel. Number 6 is Yarrow, the soldier's herb. Yarrow contains compounds that shorten bleeding time and boost natural clotting. Research confirms its hemostatic traits, meaning it stops bleeding, alongside anti-inflammatory and wound repair properties. Soldiers throughout history carried dried yarrow to pack into open wounds, and for good reason. It worked reliably. The plant grows wild across North America and Europe, producing clusters of tiny white or pale pink flowers on tall stalks. Every above-ground portion holds medicinal value. You can brew yarrow tea for internal use to reduce fevers and inflammation, or crush fresh leaves and apply them directly to scrapes and cuts to halt bleeding and prevent infection. What sets yarrow apart? It acts both as a hemostatic to stop blood flow and a vulnerary to heal damaged tissue. Most healing plants only accomplish one of these tasks, but yarrow handles both. Traditional herbalists also prescribed it for fevers, digestive discomfort, and as a mild bitter tonic. Yarrow slipped into obscurity once synthetic clotting agents and antiseptics became widely available. Still, for anyone who hikes, camps, or spends time working outdoors, recognizing wild yarrow that can stop bleeding within minutes is incredibly valuable knowledge. It is like carrying a wilderness medic in your pocket, except this medic grows freely all around you. Number 7 is self-heal, the appropriately named miracle herb. This plant's common name, self-heal or heal-all, tells you everything you need to know about how our ancestors regarded it. Prunella vulgaris was used for nearly every type of open wound, sore throat, mouth ulcer, and inflamed tissue, and it was trusted so heavily that it received the most confident title in herbal medicine. Modern research continues to validate this ancient trust. Scientific reviews confirm that self-heal delivers effective wound healing, anti-inflammatory benefits, and even disrupts bacterial biofilms, the protective outer layers bacteria build to resist treatment and worsen infections. Traditional applications included gargling its tea for sore throats, pressing crushed leaves onto wounds, and drinking brewed tea to ease internal inflammation. Self-heal grows low to the ground in lawns and meadows, sprouting purple flower spikes beloved by bees. The entire plant holds healing properties. You can prepare concentrated tea to use as a mouth rinse for canker sores and sore throats, or crush fresh foliage to place on minor cuts and scrapes. One fascinating detail is that self-heal works exceptionally well on mucous membranes. That makes it ideal for mouth ulcers, sore throats, and inflamed tissue inside the mouth and throat, areas that are difficult to treat topically with other remedies. A simple tea used as a gargle can bring noticeable relief within a few hours. Self-heal disappeared from mainstream healthcare because it is another common wild weed pharmaceutical corporations cannot monetize. Even so, it remains incredibly safe and effective for oral and throat irritation. Think of it as a plant so dedicated to recovery that healing became part of its identity. Number 8 is Agrimony, the throat soother. Agrimony is one herb medieval herbalists cherished, especially for concerns affecting the mouth, throat, and digestive tract. Agrimonia eupatoria grows tall with spikes of tiny yellow blossoms, and it has a long history as a soothing gargle for sore throats and a brewed tea for mild diarrhea and digestive upset. Historical records document agrimony water extracts being used to ease airway inflammation, pharyngitis, tonsillitis, and laryngitis, alongside urinary discomfort, digestive troubles, and persistent wounds. The plant contains tannins, natural astringents that calm and tone inflamed tissue. Here is how it was traditionally used. Practitioners made strong tea from dried aerial plant parts and used it as a gargle multiple times daily for sore throats and oral irritation. The same tea could be consumed to ease mild diarrhea and digestive upset, where astringent tannins support a healthy gut lining. Agrimony grows wild in meadows and woodland edges, blooming with bright yellow spikes through summer. The whole above-ground plant is harvested and dried to make tea. It carries a gentle, slightly bitter flavor many people find pleasant. The herb fell out of widespread use partly because modern medicine developed stronger treatments for throat infections, and partly because fewer people take the time to prepare herbal gargles today. For mild sore throats, especially irritation triggered by postnasal drip, Agrimony offers gentle, calming relief. It is comparable to a throat lozenge that actively heals instead of simply numbing discomfort temporarily. Number 9 is White Horehound, the original cough drop. Long before manufactured cough drops existed, there was horehound candy. White Horehound, Marubium vulgare, worked so reliably for coughs that people turned it into candy and lozenges, sold in every pharmacy and general store well into the 1900s. Horehound is a classic expectorant, helping your body expel mucus and clear congestion. Herbal references recommend it for productive coughs and bronchitis, and it is still incorporated into certain European cough syrups and throat lozenges. The plant contains marrowbean, a compound that stimulates bronchial secretions and breaks up thick congestion. It grows as a bushy perennial with fuzzy gray-green leaves and tiny white blossoms. All aerial sections are harvested and dried for use. Traditionally, people brewed strong teas sweetened with honey, or boiled the tea down with sugar to create homemade horehound candy. Here is what separates horehound from standard cough suppressants. It does not block your cough reflex entirely. Instead, it makes coughing more productive, clearing trapped mucus and infection from your lungs rather than only masking symptoms. That is true healing, not temporary symptom control. White Horehound lost mainstream popularity once synthetic cough medicines dominated store shelves. Many of these alternatives carry unwanted side effects and do nothing to speed recovery. Horehound still grows readily in herb gardens, remains safe to use, and helps resolve stubborn coughs by encouraging natural clearance. Think of it as a cough drop that aims to help you fully recover, not just stop disturbing those around you. Number 10 is Boneset, the flu fighter. Now we move into the more powerful remedies. Boneset, Eupatorium perfoliatum, earned massive fame as a flu treatment throughout the 1800s, so much so that nearly every household kept dried boneset stocked for fevers and deep bodily aches. It received the name boneset because the severe muscle soreness from influenza was once called break-bone fever, and this plant seemed to relieve those agonizing symptoms. Boneset was an essential remedy during the major influenza outbreaks of the 19th century. People brewed hot tea from its dried leaves and flowers, drinking it at the earliest signs of flu, fever, chills, deep muscle pain, and overwhelming exhaustion. Ethnobotanical records classify it as a febrifuge, a fever reducer, and immune support herb. While extensive, large-scale, modern clinical trials are still limited, the plant thrives in wet meadows and alongside streams, producing flat clusters of white blooms in late summer. All flowering aerial growth is harvested for drying. The tea is famously bitter, described by many as one of the most unpleasant medicinal brews, but that bitterness was once believed to be key to its effectiveness. The traditional protocol was straightforward. At the very first onset of flu symptoms, drink a warm cup of boneset tea, get into bed, and allow your body to sweat out the illness. The herb appears to support your body's natural fever response and immune activity. Many generations swore it could halt flu in its tracks if taken early enough. Boneset faded from view as flu vaccines and antiviral medications became accessible. Still, for common flu-like illnesses that continue to affect us each year, boneset remains a potent traditional remedy. Just be prepared. The tea is extremely bitter, and you will likely already feel unwell when you need it. But sometimes the most effective medicines do not taste good. They simply work. If you are finding this information valuable and realizing how much ancient healing knowledge has been hidden in plain sight, please hit the like button now. This helps the video reach more people who are tired of rushing to the pharmacy for every minor ailment and eager to reconnect with remedies trusted for thousands of years. If you have not subscribed to Homestead Roots yet, click the subscribe button and activate notification alerts. We are building a community of empowered, informed people who prioritize genuine healing over quick convenience, and we would love to welcome you. All right, let's keep going because we are just getting to the most remarkable entries on this list. Number 11 is blue vervain, the nerve soother. Blue vervain carries one of the most interesting traditional applications. It is classified as a nervine, an herb that calms and strengthens the nervous system. Verbena hastata and its close relative Verbena officinalis were used to ease nervous exhaustion, persistent anxiety, muscle tension, headaches, and insomnia, all the stress-related struggles so many of us face today. Traditional herbalists recommended vervain for people who feel constantly overwhelmed, trapped in overthinking, physically tense, and unable to unwind or sleep peacefully. Contemporary herbal resources and preliminary animal research indicate that vervain delivers mild anti-anxiety effects, calming nervous strain without inducing heavy sedation. The plant grows wild in damp meadows and ditches, developing tall stalks lined with tiny purple-blue flowers. All aerial growth is harvested and dried for brewing tea. It has a noticeably bitter taste, so it is frequently blended with milder herbs or sweetened with honey. The traditional routine involved drinking vervain tea in the evening to ease stress and prepare the body for rest, or consuming small portions during the day to ease persistent nervous tension and anxiety. It will not knock you unconscious like prescription sleep medication. Instead, it gently helps your nervous system relax and reset. Vervain fell out of favor once pharmaceutical anti-anxiety drugs and sleep aids became common. Yet these manufactured options often carry risks of dependency, side effects, and rebound symptoms. Vervain offers a gentler alternative for mild to everyday stress and tension. It is not strong enough for severe clinical anxiety, but it works beautifully for gradual stress buildup. Think of it like a supportive friend placing a hand on your shoulder and telling you it is safe to relax. Number 12 is Elecampane, the deep lung tonic. Elecampane marks where herbal respiratory therapy becomes serious. Inula helenium was the remedy herbalists turned to when someone battled deep, stubborn lung infections, chronic wet, productive coughs that refused to clear, persistent bronchitis, or lingering chest congestion following pneumonia. Elecampane root contains sesquiterpene lactones, compounds with cough-calming and antimicrobial properties. Research reviews reference its use for chronic cough, asthma, and ongoing lung troubles, and recent studies confirm activity against common respiratory pathogens. Elecampane grows as a tall perennial with enormous leaves and sunflower-like yellow blossoms. Its thick roots are harvested in autumn, dried, and used in slow-simmered decoctions or liquid tinctures. The flavor is complex, slightly bitter, warming, and aromatic. The traditional approach recognizes that this is not a fast fix. For deep-seated lung issues, small, frequent doses are taken over weeks, sometimes months. It acts as a long-term lung tonic that strengthens and repairs your respiratory system. Herbalists often paired it with other lung support herbs for persistent respiratory infections. Elecampane grew less popular partly because it demands patience, delivering gradual, deep healing rather than instant relief, and partly because antibiotics seemed like a faster solution. For chronic, lingering respiratory weakness, however, Elecampane provides something antibiotics cannot: genuine repair and reinforcement of lung tissue. It is the herb that does not only fight infection, it rebuilds your respiratory system's natural defenses. Number 13 is toothache plant, the instant numbing herb. This herb lives up to its name in a striking way. Toothache plant, Spilanthes species, contains spilanthol, a compound that creates immediate tingling and numbing sensations inside your mouth. Chew a fresh flower or leaf, and within seconds, your entire mouth begins to go numb. Traditional healers used it for exactly what you would imagine: toothaches, along with mouth ulcers, sore throats, and any painful oral irritation. Research confirms its local anesthetic and pain-relieving qualities, and it remains part of traditional medicine systems for oral discomfort. The plant is a small annual with unique yellow and red cone-shaped blooms resembling tiny spacecraft. The flowers carry the strongest numbing power, though the leaves work as well. It grows easily in warm climates or indoor containers.